If you aren't already in my Discord server, what are you doing? It's got some of the best alpha in all of crypto inside, full of people of all experiences, old, young, and everything in between. And the best part, it's completely free. I'm not going to bore you in this video with the potential of AI this cycle. We all know it's most likely going to be the sector which provides us with the highest returns. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of AI cryptos out there, and I promise you 99% of them are shit. Does this mean that they can't provide you with good returns? Absolutely not. As we saw in March earlier this year, anything that had even a shred of AI attached to it pumped a lot. The risk is how long you hold on to these coins for. So that being said, we're going to discuss CETI AI today. This was brought to my attention by members in my Discord, so thank you guys for that. The project is very new, token launched a few months back, so we're pretty early here. I'd like to start with their website. It is quite literally just this. Absolutely terrible. For many investors, this is the first port of call, so to see this is disappointing. I heard the team are looking to update this though, and honestly, the sooner the better. There also isn't an official white paper released yet, so finding information out on this project requires a lot of research through Discords, Telegrams, Twitter threads, Medium articles, etc. On one hand, it's time consuming and tedious and will put quite a few people off. On the other hand, it shows you're extremely early to a project, greatly increasing your potential returns. Extracting only key information for today's video, what is CETI? Well, in a nutshell, they buy top of the range GPUs for AI and stores them in data centers around the world. They then rent out this compute to any entities who wish to utilize it. For example, Bittensor, Akash, and more. A good way to visualize how this is unique is this diagram created by Alpha Sigma Capital, an investment firm who recently invested in CETI and compiled this excellent report. I encourage you all to read it in its entirety if you are interested. So we can see a breakdown of the subsectors within the AI compute category here. We've got chip manufacturers like Nvidia, data center hardware like AWS, data center software like CETI. We've got deep in AI brokers like Render, Bittensor, Akash, more the ones we're used to. And then we also have AI DApps at the bottom. CETI stands alone in the data center software subsector for AI compute. Little to no competition exists currently, and we can see how it differs to other AI projects such as Akash and Render. In the context of GPUs, these are more marketplaces for GPUs. They don't own much of the hardware, but instead use the cloud to aggregate their resources. CETI is looking to allow decentralized AI to be able to compete with the centralized AI giants like Microsoft and Google. The business timeline gives a nice overview of CETI's recent history. Launched in March 2024, then acquired big energy investments in April to access Nvidia hardware. In June, there was an investment from Alpha Transform Holdings, and the same month, CETI signed an agreement to expand computing power and high-performance computing servers by 25x. In July, CETI received a huge investment, which we will discuss further in a second, and in August, there was more expansion with their servers. So the investment that CETI received in July was from BCII Enterprises, a value of $60 million. Yes, that's right, $60 million. Don't let this go underappreciated. I know we're used to seeing large valuations and figures in crypto and can sometimes become numb to it, but for a new small project to receive $60 million in funding is extremely bullish. The injection is aiming to accelerate growth of CETI's customer base, revenues, profits, and market position. It'll allow CETI access to the latest, most powerful and hard to get AI chips and servers, poising them for rapid expansion. It's a mutually beneficial agreement as BCII then get 20% of CETI's net revenue. So what are the GPU chips in question? It's Nvidia's H100s, top of the range. I'm not a computer scientist or anywhere near equipped to discuss specs, but best in the world kinda covers it. And apparently these chips are worth around $25,000 each. When you got guys like Zuckerberg saying Meta will have billions of dollars worth in these chips, and Elon Musk wanting XAI to have 200,000 of them in a couple months, you know CETI are on the right track. Due to the locations of the chips all being within the same facility, CETI can also physically link all of their GPUs together and create a supercluster, leveraging the compute together to allow them capable of handling the most demanding of AI tasks like large model training. This is a competitive advantage it has over similar projects like Aether and Akash. Moving on to tokenomics, we have a max supply of 21 million coins, the same as Bitcoin and Bittensor. The difference is 100% are in circulation right now. It was a complete fair and stealth launch. 90% of the supply at launch was paired with wrapped Tao. The remaining 10% is for the team, of which 5% is their actual allocation and is being vetted vested to them and is for them to do with what they please, and the other 5% is meant to be used for team operations. These are very, very bullish tokenomics. I'm a huge fan when all the tokens are in circulation. This means we don't have to worry about massive unlocks coming in to dilute the supply and potentially drive the price down. So the revenue flywheel, the business model, the main utility and use case of the CETI token. This can take a while for people to wrap their heads around, so I'll try and keep it simple. Essentially, revenue is created by providing computing power to decentralized AI networks like Tao. After BCII take their 20% cut of the revenue, 100% of the remaining revenue generated goes back into the token via buybacks from the team. This puts buy pressure on the price, pushing it up. There are buy and sell taxes on CETI of 2 and 5% respectively. I believe these taxes get added into a tax reserve, further contributing to the flywheel, allowing CETI to fund more infrastructure, therefore increasing revenue further. Then this leads to more buybacks, more buy pressure, more tax revenue, increasing price further, and so on and so forth. We go round and round. That is the flywheel effect. CETI also have sell walls set up which trigger at certain levels if the price gets too high, converting CETI into USDC. This is to prevent overvaluation and ensure sustainable growth. Using a metaphor, CETI AI is like a machine that generates and uses its own fuel. It makes money by providing power to AI networks, then buys its own tokens to keep them valuable, whilst making sure things don't move too fast or too slow. It's all about finding the right balance between growth and value that will be pivotal for the project's success. First pilot machines are still being prepared, so what sort of revenue numbers we can expect are just estimates or hypotheticals for now. Communication will be key here from the team to determine the ideal ratio of buybacks versus expanding capital, and at this stage the allocation is still unclear. So CETI currently has a sort of partnership with Bittensor. Whether it's an official or unofficial partnership, I'm not sure, but they provide Tao with their resources for the most demanding of their subnets and therefore are rewarded with Tao tokens, which they then convert back into CETI and contribute once again to their flywheel tokenomics model. Bittensor is my number one AI play for this cycle, and it's wise for CETI to align themselves with the project to benefit from its high growth potential, high rewards, and generally being attached to its ecosystem. Although this isn't set in stone, CETI has the ability to adapt to other ecosystems like Morpheus if the opportunity presents itself. Apparently CETI has intelligent software which dynamically allocates its resources to the most profitable platforms, which will pay dividends in the long run to investors as it adapts. There's a nice comparison here between CETI and its potential competitors, Render, Tao, ASI amongst them. Two things I wish to highlight here. One, the number of high performance H100 chips. CETI blows them all out of the water. It's currently got 128 chips to hand right now, but I assume once they receive the full investment of $60 million, they'll be able to fill their allocation of obtaining 1,600 chips, second only to Aether. Even something as big as Render has less than 150. The second point to highlight, take a look at the market cap comparisons. At the time this report was created, CETI had a market cap of $25 million. The next lowest here is iExec, valued at $113 million, 4.5x higher than CETI. An absolutely tiny market cap for what it is and shows exactly how early we are to this project. Moving on to the team, they are fully doxed with great experience. The CEO was the former CEO of Bitcoin.com. We've got ex-Bittensor developers, ex-OHM developers, which if you don't know, was a crypto project driven to a $4 billion market cap last cycle. Also, we got Microsoft experience, AI experience, PhDs, finance, so yeah, lots of experience here. The team also have LinkedIn pages too, in case you want to conduct further research. I trust that the team have pretty good connections and pedigree. Can see them meeting up here with Robert Kennedy at the Bitcoin conference a few months back, and also there are images of them meeting up with the Nvidia team too. I want to take a look at some on-chain data. Currently we have over 3,000 holders, which is pretty decent for a project this early, only on Uniswap and in tough market conditions. We've allegedly had some smart money accumulation too. I've been told some Bittensor OGs have been buying CETI. This whale clearly knows something as well, holding over 700k in the token. I always ask myself, what do these guys know? Is there some insider info, ridiculous high conviction, or something else? It's pretty hard to ignore these signs. Going back to Alpha Transform Holdings' investment into CETI, Michael Turpin is a general partner of this company, and he is commonly known as the godfather of crypto due to his previous work. Just something interesting to consider. As for socials and their community, we've got over 5,000 followers followers on X, I believe around 1,000 in the Discord, and around 4,000 on Telegram. Kinda small numbers, I guess, but the project is still new and spent the majority of its life in tough market conditions, so I expect this to grow. And their Twitter is relatively active though, so they're pretty good at providing updates. So CETI today is at a price of $1.03, giving it a market cap of only $22 million. Remember, all the coins are in circulation. Looking at the price history on CoinMarketCap, we've pretty much been in this sideways action since inception, like I said earlier, due to launching and being in a tough market. Lows in May around 60 cents and in July around 80 cents before pumping up to its high of just over $2 and now consolidating around this $1 region. So from looking at this chart, it's a decent entry currently. Remember, this is only on Uniswap for now. So the report made also poses 3 price predictions for CETI, a base case prediction of $5.39, a bull case of $15.76, and a bear case of $1.99. So around a 5x, 15x, and 2x respectively. Be aware though that this is a venture capital report. They are known to be conservative with their expectations. They use tools such as cash flows, price earning ratios, holder sentiment analysis to draw their conclusions. They cannot base predictions like the rest of us can using common sense, intuition, competitor market-wide analysis, and pumpermentals amongst others. However, please note that even in their absolute worst case scenario, a bear case scenario, CETI is still providing them with over a 90% return, which is absolutely nuts. So what about my personal prediction? In all honesty, after doing my research, I cannot understand how this project is valued at only 22 million. I've been struggling to find significant reasons as to why, and keyword being significant, but I'm honestly struggling to find any. So yes, CETI is very undervalued right now for what it is. As for my prediction, I do have some concerns with the project that I want to express. Initially, I didn't really see a value of their token. I know it's used for buybacks, but the business model works without the coin. Revenue is still generated, they can still scale. Could they reward investors in another way perhaps? So is this a traditional crypto project? Well, yes and no. It's secure and scalable, but it isn't decentralized. And I thought about this and then came to the conclusion, does their business model even require decentralization? Not really. It's a centralized vendor offering its services to decentralized entities. Are they building their own chat model or AI agent or something where decentralization is important? No, they are purely supplying the compute. Other issues are its success is both independent and dependent on Bittensor right now. Independent obviously as their business model doesn't require Bittensor, but right now with the coin being pooled with Wrap Tao, the team mining on Bittensor and people viewing it under Tao's ecosystem, should something happen to Tao and it crash, what happens to the price of CETI? Would it move independently? Will the team be able to save it? The flip side, however, if Bittensor rockets and the token rockets, then CETI can obviously do very well. Furthermore, there are some smaller concerns. The website obviously is still terrible, but that's kind of an easy fix, I guess. The lack of exchanges, obviously it's early days, but of course the more potential buyers the better. And what about competitors? Obviously CETI has the competitive advantage right now with hardware and funding, but what if another project comes along, secures more funding, or the new chips, the H200, what happens with those? I assume CETI can secure further funding, but these are all necessary questions to think about. The biggest concern I have with the coin, however, comes down to the trust in the team. We are very reliant on their buybacks to pump the coin and also the sell wall levels to be accurately priced. If the sell walls are too aggressively priced, it could limit the growth, frustrating investors. We also don't know what sort of revenue number CETI will be bringing in yet, so it's a lot of speculation. But the trust in the team has to be strong because if they don't nail their buybacks or they renege on their promises, holder investor confidence would drop quickly. Although again, this may be me forcing myself to find issues with CETI as the team does have previous credibility and experience giving us reason to trust them. So CETI can easily 10x from here, 20x from here, even 50x from here. It could reach $1 billion in valuation and still be undervalued, which is crazy. I'd need to see the revenue buybacks in action to be able to better accurately make a prediction on price, but for where it's at right now, it's extremely undervalued. In the right bull case, Bittensor flying into the thousands of dollars, this could well reach a $100 valuation or $2 billion market cap. There are buybacks planned for Q4. If you wish to be risky and front run many people, now's the time to get in. If you're a more cautious investor, it could be wise to wait and see what sort of numbers the revenue produces and what sort of impacts the buybacks have on the price. Remember, this is objective analysis. I have no affiliation to the project. I am indifferent. I don't shill coins ever. Upon my analysis, I just found very few significant drawbacks. Please help me out in the comments if you picked up on something I may have missed. That would be greatly appreciated. Wrapping the video up in my coin scoring matrix, does CETI have excellent technology? That is a yes. Top of the range GPU chips. Is the narrative relevant? That is decentralized, also a yes. We've got AI and compute. Low market cap, $22 million. That's a big yes. Good tokenomics. Again, that's a green. 21 million max supply, all in circulation right now. Experienced or credible team, again, that's a yes. We've seen their pedigree, very experienced. Key partnerships, I'm going to say yes, because obviously we've got the unofficial / official Bittensor partnership, but also that 60 million from CETI, that in my eyes is a partnership. Usually I like to include exchanges under partnerships as well, but I mean, you can't ignore $60 million in funding. Active community, I'm going to put in the middle. It's definitely not a green right now because it's obviously not got a massive base, but for how small it is, they do regularly update, and 3,000 holders this soon is pretty decent. Shiny coin effect is a yes. It wasn't around in the previous bull cycle. Fair launch is also a yes. A massive bonus this one. Fair and stealth launched. And promising roadmap, I'm gonna put in the middle because I think I did see something on their future expectations and obviously future plans, and they do discuss it quite often, but it's just not easy for the average person to access, which for me makes a roadmap because you kind of want to pick up a project and see where it's headed. That's the video wrapped up, guys, on CETI. Please let me know your thoughts. Feel free to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed. Also join my Discord, it's 100% free, link down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.